Let's talk about what was said, why it matters, and how to handle it responsibly. Stephen A. Smith has voiced the opinion that he's confident Antonio Brown is suffering from CTE. That's a strong statement about a serious brain disease attached to one of the NFL's most polarizing former stars. Tonight, I'm going to unpack the comment, the public reaction, what CTE actually is and isn't, why diagnosing anyone from afar is a problem, and what a better conversation around player health could look like. First, the headline in plain language. A prominent media figure said he believes Antonio Brown has CTE. For many listeners, that lands like a diagnosis, even if it's framed as an opinion. And that's the first place we all need precision. CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, is a neurodegenerative condition associated with repetitive head impacts. It's been found in the brains of some former athletes and military veterans, but it cannot be confirmed in a living person today. Definitive diagnosis still happens after death through neuropathological examination. So when anybody, media, fans, even former teammates, says a living person has CTE, what they really mean is I suspect symptoms consistent with it. That distinction matters because suspicion is not proof, and labels can stick in ways that help no one. Second, why Stephen A.'s comment hits so hard. Opinions about Antonio Brown's behavior have been loud for years. Some people see a pattern of erratic decisions and point to cumulative head impacts as an explanation. Others see personal accountability in choices that have nothing to do with neurology. When a major voice says, I'm confident it's CTE, it acts like a shortcut. It explains everything in one word. But real life is messier. Mental health, life stressors, brain injuries, personality, environment, these can overlap. Reducing a complicated human story to one acronym can both stigmatize the person and flatten the larger conversation about care, support, and responsibility. Third, what CTE actually looks like in the research. The current science links repetitive head impacts, not just concussions, but thousands of sub-concussive hits over years, to changes in brain tissue that have been observed post-mortem. Reported symptoms among those later found to have CTE include mood swings, depression, impulsivity, memory problems, and executive function issues. But here's the catch. Those same symptoms can show up in many other conditions: untreated mental health issues, substance use, sleep disorders, thyroid problems, even medication side effects. That's exactly why clinicians don't diagnose CTE in the living today. They treat the symptoms they can evaluate, they screen for reversible causes, and they support the person in front of them rather than guessing about a disease that for now can't be confirmed until much later. Fourth, the ethics of media diagnosis. Saying, in my opinion, doesn't erase the impact of the statement. When a broadcaster speculates about a medical condition, two risks spike. One, it can harden public bias. Future behavior gets filtered through a diagnosis the person doesn't officially have. Two, it can discourage the person from seeking care if every struggle is going to be turned into a debate about their brain on TV. The better path is to separate behavior we can describe from medical labels we can't assign. You can say, these actions are concerning. I hope he's surrounded by professionals, without pinning a disease on a living person. Fifth, what a constructive conversation could sound like. If the concern is player health, then talk concretely about access to independent neurologists, second opinions, sleep specialists, and mental health clinicians who understand the athlete lifestyle. Talk about long-term care for retired players, not just in the first year after leaving the league, but 5, 10, 15 years out. Talk about how families can spot red flags without turning a loved one into a headline. And talk about workplace practices, hit limits in practice, better return to play protocols, honest reporting of symptoms reduce risk for the next generation. Sixth, the fan piece. Fans often feel caught. You want accountability when someone hurts others, and you want compassion when someone might be hurting. You can hold both. Accountability says harm requires repair. Compassion says health requires help. Neither requires you or any of us to diagnose. The most powerful thing fans can do is keep the pressure on institutions for better health protections while refusing to dehumanize the people in the middle of these stories, whether you love them or can't stand them. Seventh, where this leaves Stephen A.'s statement and Antonio Brown, the comment will keep echoing because it's simple and memorable. But the truth is more disciplined. Only a clinical team working privately with Brown can evaluate symptoms, rule out other causes, and offer care. Public voices can call for that care without declaring a diagnosis. If the goal is to help, that's the lane that actually does help. And if the goal is analysis, the fair way to do it is to critique actions we can verify while remembering that health, brain health especially, is complicated and personal. Here's the takeaway I want to leave you with. CTE is real, serious, and worthy of continued research. Antonio Brown is a real person whose life and choices have been under a microscope. Stephen A. Smith's confidence is an opinion, not a diagnosis. The responsible posture for the rest of us is to push for better support systems for athletes, refuse to armchair diagnose living people, and keep our conversations precise enough that we don't accidentally cause more harm under the banner of concern. Thanks for watching and for choosing nuance over noise. If you want more clear, human, fact-forward breakdowns like this, do me a favor. Like the video, drop your thoughts respectfully in the comments, and subscribe to the Short Clips Podcast. I appreciate you for tapping in, and I'll see you on the next one.